The day she came to Dubai, that's when all her dreams got up.
Do not watch it.
You may have heard of that disturbing video or seen the hashtag Dubai Porta Potty. 450 million views. Shock stories about influencers in Dubai.
Women let rich men poo in their mouths.
But when 23-year-old Monica Karungi, known online as Mona Kiz, died in Dubai in 2022, a distressing video went viral online.
She jumps.
Just lets go and falls.
The internet labelled her the woman in the Dubai Porta Potty video and claimed that video leaking was why she jumped. But the internet was wrong. A BBC Eye investigation has found it wasn't Monica in the leaked videos. So what really happened to her? Monica's family said she left Uganda for a job in Dubai, believing it'd be in a supermarket. But her friends told the BBC it turned out to be prostitution and that she became indebted to a man known by some as the Untouchable.
He's your pimp. You have no choice, nothing. The only choice you have is to go outside and sleep with men for money.
But the internet didn't know any of this.
Why did they use their platform for negative stuff? Why didn't they use the chance to ask why she died?
Her family says they were told by local police she had died by suicide falling from a high-rise, but they want further investigation.
Sometimes I feel like maybe one day we will get a call from her. She will tell me that never give up.
The Dubai Porta Party is making its comeback, and it's all because there's a documentary out on BBC. It's titled The Dubai Porta Party. It's the journalist, the investigative journalist, Runako Celine, is the one who's heading it. She did go undercover to try and get these people. But at the forefront of all that was a Ugandan girl. Her name was Monica, or Monica Karungi. Monica Karungi, Mona Kiz on social media, and she fell to her death in Dubai. I remember seeing that story a while back, and people thought she was just suicidal and she had her reasons for falling and whatnot. But it turns out that the reason why she fell to her death was because she was involved in some sort of sex trafficking, and she had her pimp, and there was a lot of, sex trafficking going on in a nutshell, right? But we can see that this debate does expose what's happening, and especially for like Ugandan girls, Uganda does so much of exploitation of labor to the UAE. If you go to the EBB, Entebbe International Airport, you will see so many girls, young girls, all veiled up, moving to the UAE to do odd jobs. It's probably a housemaid, a cleaner, nanny, all those sorts of things. We see so many of them. They're promised a future in Dubai, but for all of, like most of them get their passports are taken away and they're treated as slaves. I mean, we've talked about this all the time on the other channel. But we see so much of that happening from this side. So I was very happy that BBC actually did a documentary on this to shed more light on it. And that's why I am also actually picking it up so that I want to shed more light, and I want people to know that we have so many young girls who are being mistreated, who are being pimped around. Gentleman who was the pimp also happened to be a Ugandan. So it's Ugandan on Ugandan crime, if I call it that. I mean, it's very disappointing that sometimes your own people be the ones that sell you out, that sometimes your own people who are meant to protect you, maybe in a foreign country, are the ones that sell you out, are the ones that pimp you out. Because he was mentioning how he has girls and they are very open-minded. So the flat fee is 1,000 dirhams, which is like 1 million Uganda shillings, which is like $280 something or $300, depending on the strength of the shilling, right? So a lot of that is happening. And then apparently if you needed to get more out of the girls, you would have to pay more money so that they can, it's like a menu. If you want extra fries, you pay more. If you want extra bacon, you pay more. It's very sad that is happening, but let's get into these videos, okay? Hi there, my name is Jenny Tamaya. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, subscribe. Let's dive in.
Why? They did not pay for their own visa. They did not pay for their flight from whatever country that they are coming from to Dubai. They just showed up. Then what happened? Now, the person that is supposed to be your savior has turned into your pimp and your landlord, and there is nothing you can do about it, because what are you going to do? You report to the police and they tell you, say, Africans are the cause of their own problems, so we can't do anything about it, and then hang up. Your own country has its own wahala. You think in a different man's land, you'll be blessed and highly favored. You're black as well. Listen, if you don't have money, sit in your house. If you cannot survive in this country, you can't survive anywhere else. Make sure you can at least book your own flight ticket in and out. You can feed, clothe, and house yourself for the next 4 to 5 months because you don't know what's going to happen. All this for what? To enrich someone else's pockets. You are there, sleeping with men that will slap you, beat you, shit on you, pee on you. And you ain't making that money either. 2 girls have died, apparently from the same similar circumstances. And who knows, there are so many more girls that have actually passed on because of these men that want to use girls to enrich themselves. And you want to be part of them. Go.
The dark side of Dubai has now been uncovered, you guys. Go onto the BBC to watch this video of this man. He is allegedly a boss of an XCS trade ring in Dubai. His name is Charles Msigwa. He is originally from Nigeria. Now, he says that he used to be a bus driver in London. Now, allegedly, Ugandan women were told of these jobs that would be in Dubai. Maybe they would work in a hotel or a supermarket. But when they arrived in Dubai, they were told that they had to be XCS workers. Now, the girls claim that a lot of these men are Europeans and that some of them like to do the brown stuff and give it to the girls to eat. Now, allegedly, 2 women who were known to Msigwa died in mysterious circumstances. They both fell from a height. So the BBC went to find this out for themselves. They sent an undercover reporter who was filming this guy. So the guy and the reporter said, that he had a party and he was looking for women. And this guy comes out with his phone with like all these images, pictures of all these women. It's like, which one would you like? Which one would you choose? And then the reporter asks him, like, do they do porta potty, porta potty party? And he's like, well, I've got one for you. She does all sorts, anything, crazy stuff.
Guys, I'm going to need you to run to YouTube to check out this documentary here called Death in Dubai. Every young African person should watch this. Every young person in the continent of Africa should be watching this documentary here. Guys, human trafficking is not a joke. It's not something to be played with. Just to give you a short synopsis of what this documentary is about. Basically, these girls from Uganda are told there's jobs in Dubai, and someone offers to, I'll fly you to Dubai so that you can work in Dubai, only to find that the work, basically they're taken to Dubai for sex work, basically, and they literally become slaves, the most sad part about these stories is they'll always use a fellow. I cannot blame the people in Dubai. Of course, there is a certain, I believe they also have a certain responsibility in terms of enforcement, but I blame us as Africans. They're always gonna use a fellow African person, to do these things, these shady things, and to take girls from the rural areas, to take girls, from the villages, naive girls who are genuinely looking for opportunities. They will always look for a fellow black person, a fellow African to do this, honestly. It's very sad. And I don't know, I feel like as Africans, and it's not a new thing. I don't want to say it's a new age thing. Even when you read into our history, even in the 18th century, the Dahomey Empire, they were actually selling African people, selling them as slaves to Europeans. So it's not a new thing, honestly. But nonetheless, it is sad, especially the case of Monica, whom everyone thought she unalived herself, But as you watch the documentary, you realize that something tragic happened to this young girl. She did not consent to these things. She did not, I like that they got testimony of people who knew her well, who were saying, listen, she did not consent to these things. In fact, she was reluctant to be involved in these things, and she wanted a better life for herself, only to find that when she was trying to escape and then and then the reports are like she unalived herself. I'm trying to avoid the other word, right? Because this is TikTok. It's very sad what happened to her, and the fact that her family today doesn't have we're not able to bury her body. You know, she's laying there in Dubai, guys. Every young person should go watch this. I'm really super emotional after watching this. It's really, really sad what is happening out there. For me, what's sad is that a black man, this Abby guy, is running this. For me, what was also mind-boggling was him talking to the undercover guy. He was saying, even if I was to win lotto, I would still continue with what I'm doing to prove that it's not about money. It's not about money, because if he says, I can even win lotto, I will still do what I'm doing. You know, he's like, I've got 25 girls that I can give to you. They are open-minded. They can do anything for you. Imagine. Guys, as Africans, what have we really come to, honestly? You know, selling our own. Man, I'm really like, for me, the whole takeaway in this thing is that Africans, we need to do better. We need to do better. To think that there's also people in Uganda on the ground who are also facilitating the whole, I'm just thinking facilitating this whole process, taking girls from Uganda, taking them straight to Dubai. And again, while talking about Uganda, there's a show from Uganda called Kapala Cream that I love so much. It's a reality show. One of the girls there called Itania, who is a DJ now, a famous DJ in Uganda. She speaks about the very same experience whereby she was taken to Thailand. You know, she was taken to Thailand thinking she's got a job, you know, and then she ended up having to, you know, prostitute herself, you know. And fortunately for Itania, she was able to come back to Uganda and she was able to work and make a name for herself. But not everyone is going to be like Itania. Some girls are going to be like Monica, are not going to return, or like Kayla, are not going to be able to return home. Can we freaking do better as Africans? Can we do better as Africans, guys? Let's stop selling each other. Let's stop selling each other, honestly.
Okay, today I'm going to give you a review of the documentary that has been circulating around, because some of you speak from a summary of what you saw and you didn't understand where it started from and how it ended up to where the most part everyone is talking about. When this documentary came out, the blame game has been actually on two personalities, that is Abe and Troy. But let me take you back where it started from. In 2022, there are two girls who died. That's what BBC actually stated. There are two girls who died, and when these girls died, they died from suicide. They ended their life. They threw themselves from off the building to the ground, and they all ended. But when these girls, one of them was actually returned to Uganda, was called Kaya, but Monique didn't return to Uganda. Her body wasn't returned in Uganda. And with BBC, they showed us her family and the perspective from her family ground, and they talk about how this came up. So they talk about Monique. Monique she was just a random girl who was trying to have a life in Uganda. She was not suffering. Mind you, she was staying with a sister. And then from nowhere, she met someone called Bash. Bash, who said that she can take her to Dubai to work in a supermarket to get a job. Very keen about this. This girl didn't travel to do anything else. She went to work in a supermarket. Same applies with Kayla. So when these girls traveled in Dubai, they said that they met a man called Abe, who was the family saved this number as the landlord, and then Monique's family saved this number as her boss. When Monique got this job, she started, when she reached there, she was taken for shopping the first 2 weeks, and the life was very okay. Until this is where we tell you that cheap things come at a cost. So when she was taken over for shopping, and then after she was consolidated in the Bash residence where this guy was staying, or Abe's place. Going forward, the documentary shows that this person was consolidated in this place until when they keep you onto this place. If you're not willing to do what they want them to do, they are going to keep you onto that place until you make up your mind and like, okay, fuck it, let me start selling myself. So in this kind of job that they offer you to do, they take you to a place, for example, in a bar, they take you to parties, and that parties you have to go and sleep with someone so that you get paid and take this money back to Abe. One of the victims came out and stated one thing that was very, very crazy and was very scary. She stated that you can come, the moment you come, Abe first spends like 20 million on you so that you get obsessed. Then after that 20 million you have to pay back. Then that you have to pay for the air ticket, you have to pay for other things. So you keep on paying more money and more money and more money. So you literally going to become a sex worker in disguise. Nothing that is going to change. You're just going to keep on selling yourself. So what happened is, whenever one of the incidents that actually nagged these people is that when you choose to leave, that is when the things go astray. When you look into this documentary, Monique decided to leave and they got into a tantrum, and it was a very bad one with Abe, and Abe said, you're going to see what is going to happen. And also told the girls that stayed, the victim was told that you just watch. 3 days after Monique's life was had ended, the landlord, the neighbors stated that Monique, when she was on that building, they had like someone she was quarreling with, but unfortunately, they didn't identify this. This is where the problem comes in, and to make it more familiar, it's one of the people who used to be like a driver, Troy. People who know him from social media, you know him very well. He appeared he did hide and said that he wanted to come out with it.
All right, guys, we've come to the end of this sad, truly sad story. But these are the stories for most third world countries. It's truly unfortunate. There's so many girls that you meet and they explain to you their ordeal, the suffering that they went through. It's too much, okay? It's too much. I hope that the government is able to come up and do something about it, but obviously it's the Ugandan government. They haven't even released a statement. There are rumors that they've arrested the pimp, but it's not been confirmed by them. It's a sad world that we live in. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comments section. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and hit the bell for notifications, hit the like button, subscribe, guys. Subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.